whole time along the way, but then the business becomes the product, that's revolutionary.
Right.
Right? It's big.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to go back through and make sure you guys are connecting with the right people. Who in the room does short-term lending?
Woo!
And who in the room is a long-term lender, like DSCR and different stuff? Just stand up if you do long-term loans. You guys are really important. You guys do furnished rental? All of y'all? Are y'all DSCR direct? Do you do your own money? How do you do it, Rick? Okay. Yep. All right, Lindy? Direct lender with who? Nationwide, truly, okay. All right, because you got to be able to have access to the deal flow. You got to know what you're going to do. You got to know your comps.
Yep.
And then fix it up, furnish it, rent it, and then you can refi it into long-term financing. Got it? Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, you're good, you're good. Who'd like to talk more about mobile homes? Major, come on up. Oh yeah, there we go. Come on up here. Did you catch how quickly he got on Jennifer's numbers to increase equity? We need more chairs, but I just want to talk to Major for a minute. We're going to do a panel, yeah. Well, for a minute, but I got some other people that I want to talk to. Peggy Zurcher, Tony, where are you, Tony? Keith Lankey, I'd like to hear your model a little bit too. Come on up.
You guys can come up.
But Major, seriously, you used to do houses and apartments, and then like everything blew up in a good way. How did you do that?
I read a book. Seriously.
Your book just came out, by the way.
Yeah, I just launched a book last week, so I'll...
Well, tell us about your book. What's the name?
It's... you put me on the spot. I wasn't ready for that. It's...
That's what friends do.
Great title. It's actually, where's Rich? Well, AI helped me come up with the title, which is pretty
I like
cool.
it. That's a good way to use AI.
It's called Your Money is Dying, How Smart Investors Use Mobile Home Parks to Beat Inflation and Win Financial Freedom.
And that's on Amazon. You should grab a copy.
That's right. It's 99 cents. I forgot to increase it, so get it now.
So you've done houses and apartments. I've known your family a really long time, but
Right.
how was it making that transition to mobile home parks?
Yeah, so I cut my teeth growing up in our house. My father did a lot of buy and holds, residential real estate, and he did a lot of installment sales. So he gave me a really good background. And growing up, I didn't have a babysitter. I was always putting up drywall, mudding, pulling up
The
carpet.
best babysitter ever.
Anyway, so very good labor for him too. But in college, went in and got in commercial real estate at the best time to do it during 2008, 2009 recession. So I cut my teeth with Section 8 apartments.
There you go.
First one I did was 226 unit in Suffolk, Virginia, behind a truck stop. If you can do that, you can do anything.
I didn't even
right?
know
So-
you did that.
But
That's
anyway,
amazing.
I did that. I had apartments. I bought a 20 unit in Churchill.
Yep,
And then
I did
I
that.
read a book about flipping mobile homes. I said, well, I've got $1,500. Let me go do a home. So I read Lonnie Scruggs.
Oh, yeah.
Bought a home a week
Who's
later.
done a Lonnie deal? I have.
Dude, so yeah,
The,
I'll change my
the
life.
fleas conveyed with mine, by the way.
But
That's
did
a whole
that, and
other
I had a
story.
couple homes, and I said, well, why am I just doing one? Why don't I do all of them at one time, buy a whole
Yeah.
park? Bought a park, I had apartments, and that's
Scale.
what happened. Well, I don't have apartments no more. Once I had a park, the ease of maintenance and management, I got rid of everything I got and went into all mobile home parks.
I love it. What do you guys think? You can learn some things from Major. Keith Landkeet, are you kidding me? Here we go. How many of you guys know Keith? Oh, the best. Tell us how you use mobile home parks. Come on up, Tony. Tell us what you do. Yeah, I mean mobile homes on land.
Well, I do any kind of mobile home. I used to have parks, but I found a different tack that works a
Pam
little bit
Fisher?
better for me. Okay, so the tack that works for me is I like just a mobile home. I can easily do a 25 to 30% rate of return on buying the mobile home, selling it, and creating the paper. All I want is the interest income. I don't want any other part of it. And I also do them on land. And I also do your method, but I don't do short-term rental. I do corporate rental in a leasehold community.
Nice.
So I'm paying, like one I did, I paid $37,000 for as a double wide. I'm going to rent it. I'm not going to rehab it. I didn't rehab it at all. I rented it to a Mexican restaurant.
No, it's awesome.
He's got 3 of them. He pays $24.50 a month for each one.
Clockwork. Yep,
Oh
that's
my
good.
gosh, and I paid $37,000. You can do the math on the top of your head on that one, right? So yes, mobile homes are very, very lucrative.
Well, guys, before we get going with the panel here, I wanted to give you a little bit of a side note. Someone came up to me and told me that my site didn't load. Free Airbnb templates, that's plural, templates, but try www.freeairbnbtemplates.com, okay?
I think this is about it. Does anyone else want to join us that does mobile homes? See how this works at Dealmaker? We build the panels in real time. I've done this for years. Rita, you didn't believe me when I said that, did you? I've done it this way for years. No, you're such a planner. Okay, so Keith, that's what you love to do. Peggy? Oh, I got to get back to Yvonne.
All right, what was the question?
Wow, what do you do with mobile homes, wobbly wheels, parks, all that
Oh,
stuff?
okay.
You've done it all. Like, you're the mobile home princess here.
Well, I've had 5 mobile home parks, and I'm a little bit different category than these guys. I've had small ones, so I have a little different philosophy about how to run a small one versus a great big one. But basically, I had just straight rentals, nothing fancy, just bought 10 to 15 spot mobile home parks and rehabbed them and resold them. And I'm a big believer in keeping the mobile homes, not selling the mobile homes.
Do you rent them?
I rent them, yes.
Oh, my goodness. You are a mobile home slumlord. No, I'm just
Yep,
joking.
that's right. I'm proud of it. And you know, most of those guys pay cash, so I really like.
Trailer trash, yeah.
That's right.
Trailer
those
trash
are my
creates
people.
cash. There you go.
Yep, and
I like
those are.
No,
That's right. And
I just made it up, Pam.
What?
I just made it up.
I
Trailer
love it.
trash
Trailer
creates cash.
trash creates cash. Thank you at the Dealmaker 2025.
New book. Come on, Peggy.
I think I may go on the website here in a few minutes. Don't do it yet.
With some AI, we can get that book this week, so no worries.
I love
Go
that.
ahead, Pam.
I'm Pam Fisher. I have parks, which I love, and Major has taken that motto and just blows it up in a different way that I couldn't comprehend at some point.
There's one more chair over here.
So love what he does. I love going out for a drive in the country, and some of the folks that have heard me speak have heard me say that. Go for a drive in the country. Look for that home.
Who likes a good country ride?
Absolutely. Look for the gold, and that gold can sometimes be a
Gold.
manufactured home that's either abandoned, even almost fallen down, because there's 3 things that exist on that little piece of property. Can anyone tell me what those 3 things are? Utilities, water, sewer, electric, right? So if I can find a little shack for $25,000 that nobody else wants, bring it on. Because what I do these days is I'm going to take that and put a brand new double wide on it, okay, with permanent foundation. And I've got some gorgeous ones that we've set up. And sometimes my retail sales can bring in anywhere from $15,000 on up to $100,000. And my cash into that deal is very different than a home in Raleigh where they used to be selling for $400,000, but now we're into sometimes 7 figures plus, right, Ed? Right, Jenny? So it's a very different model, and people have got to live somewhere. So the affordable housing area.
Affordable housing's needed.
Absolutely. And you saw Eddie Speed, the total master up here of owner financing. I'll take one that I purchased for $18,000 that still has grandma's Christmas tree. I'll triple that, well, I'll actually multiply it by 7. It's my cash flow formula, and owner finance it with $25,000 down and then $1,200 cash flow for the next 10 years. Who doesn't want to do that?
That is cash
I
flow.
see you doing that, Keith. You know what I'm talking about.
Living in a beautiful dream hearing those numbers.
Absolutely.
Yes, I got
So
it, Keith.
you have opportunities everywhere with manufactured homes. It's just changing that perspective and looking at it through a different lens. We also do some modular homes, but I'll take the manufactured homes any way I can get them, whether they're existing, whether I'm going to fix it up, or whether I'm going to put a brand new one on there and retail sell it. I love it whenever I can sell 5 and owner finance 1, sell 5, owner finance the next one. So I'm creating both eat money that Alicia talks about and long-term wealth there.
I
So
like it.
wobbly boxes, bring them on.
All right. Tony, I mean, you're developing, so, I mean, I see your pictures and your videos. It's amazing. Tell us what you've been up to.
Yeah, so I'm Tony Moreno, located in Huntsville, Alabama. And what I do is something similar to what Pam does. We just do it at, I guess you can say, a little bigger scale. So I'll talk about the recent project that we did. I think I have the smallest park out of this group. We bought 1 acre. Obviously, it was flat. You guys smaller than that?
You have a park.
I have a park, yeah.
There's
But
no need to
I like to go to the park for a walk. Does that count?
But the reason why I say that is because we're testing the waters to see how small can we go. We bought a 1 acre, and we were able to put in there 6 mobile home lots.
Oh, my goodness.
That were able, so obviously, you know, when you work with the county, as long as you have what Pam said, you have water, obviously you have septic systems, so you have to make sure that your soil is good, and you have electricity. That's all really that you need in order to begin a mobile home park. So we build them from the ground up. That's what we've been doing in the North Alabama area, where there's a lot of land, and there's still a lot to develop. So yeah, that summarizes what.
So does Alabama actually have zoning, planning, permits?
They do, and we actually choose the areas where there is the minimal restrictions. So we build close to the city, but outside of the city limits.
Go where they let you go, right? But don't blow it off and just skip it.
Can I give some insights on the zoning?
Yeah.
I did a little tour of the Midwest last week and happened to be in Mississippi where I met with a dealer. And we started talking about zoning and what we call a CO, or a certificate of occupancy, that's required in North Carolina.
CO.
Right? And he goes, "What's that?" And he's like, "There's no way I would do mobile home setups there in North Carolina. We don't do any of that here in Mississippi." So
Wow.
because I have to go through a fitters inspection, a setup inspection, the mechanicals of HVAC, plumbing, and electrical inspection, and then a final inspection that even includes, because I failed it before, 4-inch letters on the front until I can get my CO. So your state, your county, your municipalities do make all the difference. I would not be allowed to put 6 on 1 acre anywhere in North Carolina unless it was grandfathered. I have 20 acres.
That's some density. Mobile home, that's like a mobile home condo community
That's
right
right.
there. You could charge it HOA. All right. Joe, how about you? Oh, he's sending me, are you sending me another text message about Josh Allen probably, right?
Josh,
Go ahead.
oh man, oh what is it, morning? Yeah, good morning everybody. So to be honest with you, real estate developer, hard money lender, right? We do luxury model builds in Atlanta, but my significant other, Giovanna, over there. she's,
Where's Giovanna?
Right, she
Wait,
should come
wait,
up here.
there
right?
we go.
She come over here. That's the
on.
brains right there. From New York, when I lived in, we moved to Miami. Our second home there was a trailer. It was a mobile home, so I know what that stereotype is. You know, playing basketball with a milk crate and a soccer ball, right?
Love it.
So fast forward, we're doing multi-million-dollar homes in Atlanta, and then Giovanna has her portfolio of mobile homes in Dallas. And I'm like, babe, I'll support you, but it's not, I don't understand it because I lived in one. And I don't live in one now, right? We're in the future here. And once I started doing my due diligence, I'm like, man, the affordable housing crisis is serious. It's huge, especially in rural areas. And I did not know about the 100% financing of USDA, right? So I was like, man, well, if we all invest in the city and we don't have another exit when you're trying to offset, get these properties off your books, now you have 100% financing. That's another tool. And where everybody is fishing in the city, now you're fishing in rural areas where there's a lot of land, a lot of opportunity. You're literally buying land dirt cheap, right? For many that don't know how to underwrite land, guys, like the money's there. Deep dive into that. So we bought our first lot September 27 of last year. And right now we're up to 9 lots. Right now we got 4 projects in the works right now, going through permitting, going through septic. We've already ordered our manufactured homes, the whole process. And for the first time, I'm actually having fun. Because as many of you guys know, there are flippers or real estate developers. It's not easy babysitting, 9 to 12 contractors to do their job on time, get there on time, their tools, materials. Like us guys, when we go to Home Depot, it's like you ladies going to Victoria's Secret. Right? You guys go there going for one thing, you come out with a boatload of other things and not what you actually went to go buy,
It
right?
happens to me at Target, too.
Oh, Target, don't even
Oh,
say
sorry, Cheryl.
that. And so, you know, we've got an amazing team, resources, people that really want to help with this cause. And man, we've been so blessed. We did a 2-day tour at the middle of March. We only had like 2 weeks to promote it.
Pam was there.
Pam, and let me tell you, Pam, I was like, man, we pulled Pam out from North Carolina, and we had an amazing time. This community, we also met in Biloxi as well, and you know, she gave me a lot of golden nuggets that started really making me think of, man, how can we really scale? I can't do it by myself. We have to do it as a community. And so just meeting amazing individuals in this room has really taken Giovanna's and I, you know, goal to a bigger level, because there's no gatekeeping here, and I love this.
Good.
Honestly,
We're
honest to God.
limitless, aren't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
All right.
Jim, thank you. Appreciate
No,
it.
thank you, Yvonne. You just bought your first mobile home park, I guess from Tanya somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I love deals among friends and things, but how's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
going? How did it work out, and how did you get to where you're at?
Yeah, so Ivan Malpica, Orlando, Dealmaker, and
Yeah.
my markets are St. Louis, Missouri. So I focus on distressed mobile home parks, and it was very distressed.
Affordable.
Exactly. I bought a very distressed park,
It was not.
very distressed park.
Was it old, worn out, and tired like
Exactly.
some of us?
The desperate owner that wanted to owner finance for you, right?
That's right. So I bought my first park actually from Peggy and Tanya. Then we actually doubled that park, increased the value, and then met this
There you
guy
go.
last year.
What size was it when you bought it from Peggy over there? And what size were you at?
So it was. I mean, how many do you have there? About 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we have 14. We're gonna expand
You're
5
good
more
now.
on that one, potentially. But yeah, we double that from $4,000 a month to easy over 8,000. My best months are about 10,000.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then met this guy last year, and I was very focused on mobile home parks. Went to his mastermind, and then a month later bought another park.
All right.
And then yeah, that's kind of been progressive. So been a lot of help from people up here. and
Major
people right
definitely
here.
makes you think big. Who's got a question on mobile homes, on land, parks, financing, value add, how you do it? Anybody?
One in the back.
Okay, here we go.
Not everybody at
I've got a
once.
couple back here. I feel like Tom Berry. I'm going to start rattling off like an auction. Who was it? Iris, was it you? Oh, here we go.
Sorry. So there is a lot in front of my house that has a mobile home. How can I find out if I can turn that into a mobile park or if I can put more than one mobile home in there?
Zoning, zoning, zoning. Call, go in, look and see if there's anything grandfathered that makes it a designation of a mobile home versus a mobile home park. Got to clarify it. Your location is all about who your jurisdiction is. Whether it's county, whether you're city, you also have to be careful sometimes because a lot of people do want to move in new. Just because there was a home there that was a manufactured home does not guarantee that you can move a new one or used one back in. So you have to understand your zoning, zoning, zoning. You don't ideally want to go in for a regulation change of some sort or a variance because many places do not want them. But it's all about what your county, your city, your municipality ordinances says.
So talk to your zoning. Who else had a question over here a minute ago? Oh, here we go. You having a good time? Jennifer, do these discussions also help you from? Good.
I think this question is from both of us, but I heard the 100% financing in the USDA on land. So can you explain how you?
I think the question was USDA, can you get 100% financing?
No,
And the
come on
answer is
back, Marcia.
absolutely yes. It has to be a rural designation. And as long as they meet the qualifications, it can be a home run. Absolutely.
All right.
Permanent foundation. And thank you. Different states have different rules, just like that zoning and the requirements to set up. So just make sure wherever you are, you know what that is, and is it a rural designation?
What
In that case, it can come in very positive for you.
What considers a permanent foundation when you're talking about USDA?
It depends on the state. For example, in Texas, some places probably decides a concrete pad or something, concrete
We have
foundation.
to have a footer that's concrete.
Yeah.
And then in North Carolina, we either have to have cinder blocks or bricks under it. In some areas like Georgia, I know for a fact that you don't have to have cinder block or bricks for your
you have a
foundation,
question?
but you have to have something that's, they call it
Next to the
permanent,
man
but
right
it can be metal of some sort. So it saves money if it's not brick or concrete.
So like in Idaho, where I came from, you had to have a concrete foundation, solid concrete foundation around the house, and the house has to be bolted to that concrete foundation. In Texas, the only rule is it has to be retrofitted, which basically it's these big giant tie downs in case a tornado comes through, you'll have your floor. It doesn't help the rest of the house. I don't get it. But that's Texas rules. You have to have it tied down a special way. So it really can vary greatly state by state.
All
And
right,
even county by county sometimes, unfortunately.
you gotta get your regs. All right, Ron had a question.
For the USDA, is that for the buyer?
That's
or-
your end buyer, correct,
End
yeah.
buyer.
Not as an investor. It's whoever's going to buy it off of you to get it off your books. So also understand this, guys, if depending on what city, what state, what county, whatever it is, but for the most part, if you move a home more than one time, most likely it's not going to be fundable on a USDA, FHA, VA type of program.
Or
Your end
potentially
buyer.
any program if you move it and set it up. The same with modular homes.
Who's next on
I
this
get that
side?
call frequently. If I move a modular home, got a phenomenal setup,
Oh,
can I get financing? And the answer is typically no, unless you're doing private funding.
Which I find really interesting. You can move a conventional house and refinance it conventionally, but a house that's mobile and designed to be moved cannot be financed once it's moved.
Got a question over here with,
I have financed moved ones before. It is possible. It's not easy. It depends on regulations. The big thing is he can't see that it's been moved. So in other words, if I clean that up a little bit by owner financing it for 2 or 3 years, now I've washed away all that new construction. I've done quite a few that way. I'm not telling anybody else to do it that way. But it has worked.
Well, you just don't
Just slide a Chick-fil-A gift card underneath that little report there.
So my question is, I've asked a couple different people and got different answers. So I'd like to ask this question to every one of you. And it is, do you like to buy parks? Or how do you feel about buying land and developing the park, and why?
I think that's the
go
beautiful
ahead,
thing
Tony,
about
Tony, you're developing, right?
Yes,
So-
I buy land, and the reason why I buy land, my competition is less. For example, Major buys mobile home parks that are already running, and he's buying as well. The reason why I buy land is because you have to have a vision. A lot of people see land, and it's really difficult. It is really difficult to see the finished product. So my competition reduces extremely by just buying the land alone. And you can get great deals, but at the same time, you can also pay asking price for a piece of land. Because again, since you're going to be building on there, you're going to do the infrastructure, you're going to add a ton of value to that. And later on, after you got the park up and running, you can refinance with whichever type of loan product out there. But me personally, I build from the ground up for the reasons I mentioned earlier. And then the beautiful thing of it is that you only need the requirements that we mentioned earlier, which was, zoning number one. Do you get water? Do you get electricity out there? And then do you have a good soil or sewer to put in, septic? So that's the strategy I'm using to try to get those. So,
Major?
Tony, that sounds like a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
I love it.
No, I like them already built because the risk of the red tape and regulations, and you got to get it perked, and then all that. You've got to have enough overhead to cover the development, which is going to be about 24 months. And if you're using private money, you've got to have enough to hedge interest payments for those 24 months. So it is riskier. What I do and what I would recommend, you get a park that's already established with vacant land or adjacent vacant land. It's much easier to go to a county to expand a park versus build and develop a new park, especially if they don't like them. So you already have a cash flow asset. You can use the cash flow to hedge the development of extra pads, and you've already got the infrastructure in place, and it's a simple just tack on. For me, we've done that. It's a much safer bet. I would not recommend Tony's great at what he does, but in the areas that we go in, it's extremely hard to get new development, but they are very favorable of affordable housing once we clean up the parks that we have, because they're really an eyesore usually in these small towns. And once they see what we've done, they are more than happy to let us develop and build out extra pads. And it's just a way to mitigate your risk.
I like it, Major. I got a
I
question.
can't wait to sell my parks to Major. I can't.
I got a,
Well, let's talk about that, Major, because you've added value, expanded, and you've actually flipped and sold them. Tell us your numbers on one of those case studies, kind of roughly.
So like,
'Cause I know them, they're strong.
buy, hold, and sell, is that what we're talking
Yep.
about?
What
Okay.
did you do?
I've done a lot of them.
Just give us one.
Okay. Well,
you
we
don't
talked
mind.
about like.
I don't want to invade your privacy either,
No, that's
so
cool.
if you don't
No,
want to share, I understand.
We have a fund, so all this is
It's limitless,
It's all out
right?
there anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're interested, go to our website. You can see our deal flow.
Okay.
But we did one, and one of the biggest ones we did. There's actually a slide, 2 slides over, but it was a 185 unit park in Columbia, South Carolina. That was the third park I ever bought. What happens is, and a lot of people tell me, say, "Hey, Major, are you worried about inventory because there's not been so many parks and they're not being developed?" And I said, "No, because I sell them to people who don't know what the hell they're doing, and I buy them back at a discount." Okay, so it was a 185 unit. I bought it for 2.6 million, which is about 20,000 a pad, or just over 23,000
That seems
a
like a
pad.
good deal to me.
Right. We fixed it up. We're in it for 3.4 with our partners, so we put about 800,000 into it. During COVID, we sold it within 38 months for 8.8 million. We made a little over $5 million on it, less than 3 years. And it's all about management, cleaning up, and really what the best part about our business is that you're getting impact for your investment. So we're completely changing entire communities by getting rid of drugs, sex trafficking, paraphernalia, gang members. We've deported MS-13, a bunch of them. We're cleaning up entire communities. We're getting paid for it, and our tenants are happy to pay more because they have a livelihood that they never thought possible, because someone actually cares. Someone's giving them a chance to own their home. A lot of these individuals have been taken advantage of, but they are the backbone of our country. When they see us put investment, they take pride of ownership in their homes. Everything mushrooms out, and it just makes a better atmosphere.
Okay, anyone have a follow-up question? Are you wondering how you could do that deal?
Real
And
quick,
I mean,
Jim.
did you catch that? Go ahead.
just to put
Yvonne.
Paula's question in perspective and the debate about development and distressed
Yes.
properties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to put it real quick. How many new construction rehabbers are here?
Oh, rehabbers?
Or new construction
builders? Lisa's
builders,
one.
developers, right? So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many rehabbers do we have out here that you're actually,
How
exactly,
about
and
both?
that's the
Both?
difference,
Yeah.
new construction versus
Yeah,
distressed.
that's a good point. All right.
Guys, when you do your due diligence, if you want to start tapping into this market, always buy yourself time to do your due diligence prior to buying. So get your survey, get your soil testing in place, and do all your phone calls, all your round of calls to the county and also environmental health. Because your county could tell you, hey, you could put one
point.
home on 1 acre, but environmental health says, hey, because it's septic, we want you to have 1.5 acres, right? So it's whatever environmental says goes. They don't care what's going on. They say it's 1.5, it's 1.5. So do your due diligence.
Yeah, I think,
don't
like,
get too pressured into buying a piece of land without having all your due
And
diligence
you gotta,
out the
when
way.
you do your land contract, you've got to have good clauses in there. So Lisa, I'm gonna ask you, because you're so good at land development, you like flip land, subdivide, like, how do you contractually control the land to give yourself enough time to make sure it's good to go? Because you've run into some septic issues, girl. You are like a septic queen, by the way.
Are you talking about like on the development
Wait a
side, like
minute.
how long it takes?
Well, just like, how do you make sure
Due diligence.
how long do you take?
I usually I go in with 15 days because I know the area and I know the zoning. So I already know before I buy it what I can do with it.
How about like septic and water?
I already know those things before I buy it.
How do you do that?
It's just knowing your market, knowing what you can do with it. And I always go in with 14 days. I can expand it if I need to, but I go in with 14 days, but I really don't need the 14 days. So you just have to know the zoning and you have to know your market. But zoning is key.
That's correct. And to piggyback off of that, understand that your surveyor and whoever's going to do your perk test or soil test, it takes time for them to do their assignment. And trying to coordinate them one after the other also is waiting on a third party to do their job, do the site visit, do the report, and get it back to you, right? So buy yourself as much time as possible, because the last thing you guys want to do is have an expensive kickball field and do nothing with it.
Inexpensive. There you go.
Jim, can I just ask a question for the room?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of concepts about what a manufactured home is. I'm always impressed with this question, and people go,
A manufactured home and a modular home. People get them mixed up constantly.
two different things there, but we're talking about manufacturers, the ones that you see going down the highway on the wheels and axles, right? In this room, how many folks in here have ever lived in a manufactured home? I'm just curious. I want you to look around at this. Very successful people in this room that have actually lived in a manufactured home, okay? And still live in one, okay? The second question I want to ask is how many in this room have actually purchased either refi or land, or not a refi, remodel or are a landlord of a manufactured home, okay?
Been there, done that, yeah.
What I think is undervalued, Jeff, did you just raise your hand? Jeff Watson? Okay, just making sure. Lonnie Deal?
Lonnie
Okay.
Deal's in parts.
I think there is a complete misconception still that these are the ones that are the tornado twister things that get interviewed whenever the tornadoes come down Tornado Alley, right? The perception of what a manufactured home is old school still. But when you go into some of these homes, just stop in a dealership somewhere near you. These are gorgeous homes these days. I've been to 2 shows recently. I've taken people to a factory to actually see the homes being built. Just stop in and see. You can't tell that you're in a manufactured home anymore. So the concept of what they were versus what they are can be 2 different things, and they are built to a standard that's federally supported versus state supported. So you've got a different level of protection. In our area, if a home comes from a factory, and it's a lemon, we have those homes that just continuously have issues, you can work with your state management system, and North Carolina, it's Department of Insurance. You can make a complaint, and within 2 weeks, there is a meeting between the factory, the homeowner, and the representative from the state to make it right. Otherwise, the state has the ability to shut down that factory. So do they want to do things that's going to get them in trouble? Absolutely not. So your response to issues are like this. In a site-built home, sorry, I know all of you guys do this, oftentimes you've got to take them to small claims court in order to get things fixed. And you can get thrown out for something as simple as misinterpreting what the LLC name was. I've seen it happen. So 2 different levels of support as well for what you're buying.
Major, you're going to jump in there.
Yeah, a couple things. Pam, also, on top of that, what she just stated, each brand new manufactured home comes with a 1-year warranty. Everything's covered in the entire home for 1 year. You also get substantial discounts in certain states, like in South Carolina, as a tax credit where you pay no sales tax if it's an energy efficient home, which they all come energy efficient. So there's a lot of credits and stuff. What I was going to get back to with Lisa's statement earlier on the land, I don't think you guys realize there's treasure maps for you right now available for free online in your local market. You look at the community development plan, and you look up like Pew Research or bestplaces.net for population migration trends. When they overlap for development and increased population, you're in a path of progress. So they will bring you, and I do this all the time, they will bring you public utilities within a short time, or you can negotiate with the town before you even go under contract and know that you have sewer or water coming to your way. The seller doesn't know any about it, or the other market. You purchase it, you get that development, your property value skyrockets as soon as you got public utilities.
There you go. Who'd like a treasure map? It's like GIS data, but you said the economic development
you go to
plan, what-
economic development plan for the county or town, and then you look up, like the one we use is bestplaces.net
There you go.
and Pew Research Study. Pew Research is actually governed by the U.S. Census Bureau. So their records are very accurate, and they'll show you population migration trends so you can see where popular areas are growing. And you overlap that with development, and bam, you've got your X on the map.
You remember? Okay, we have a question over here.
No, I'm just gonna add to some of what people are saying here. I recently bought a 1 acre on Zillow. I was in the heart of Madison, Alabama, which is close to Huntsville, Alabama. I used to live around the area, so I called the county to check on the zoning. They said there was no zoning. I was like, okay. I called the engineering department. They didn't have an engineering department. I said, woo, I'm getting this one. So my vision was to do a tiny home park community. It turned out we surveyed the property. While it was under contract, it turned out to be 0.7 acres. I was like, man, this is not gonna work. So what I typically do, when you get your perk test done, I do all of this while it's under contract. I pay for an engineer to do it. A lot of them are gonna tell you, no, you can't do it. You can't fit that many homes. What I do, I give them the rendering, I give them my vision, and then I tell them, tell me why it's not gonna work. So you make their brains to work, try to get someone that's an engineer and challenge them. Challenge them. He told me that I could only put 2 tiny homes on that 0.7 acre lot with an existing double wide. I was able to fit 5 tiny homes and a double wide. And I already have 2 under contract.
Yeah, and
how fun.
That's awesome. I would say also what I did early on, because I didn't know any better, as I made brochures and pitch decks for my properties I was under contract on. And I would then take it to other operators, and that's how I got my first private money lender and financing. So I highly recommend, you can go now and AI will produce it for you very simply. All you need is the financials, a little bit about the information of the area, the best pictures you can get, because usually they're ugly, and then put it together on a simple to easy 3-page brochure or slide deck. That'll make you substantially better
Adds
in a pool
credibility.
of other investors looking for money.
Okay, great. Bill Cook, who's grateful for my friend Bill Cook and Kim? Yes.
Just a couple pieces of advice on the trailers. Most of us start, when we start doing trailers, doing something called Lonnie deals. You heard Jeff Wasson just talk about that. It's named after Lonnie Scruggs. And you'll find, he has a book out, a little book, fast read, called Deals on Wheels. And you'll find that at billandkimcook.com. So we own Lonnie now. But anyway, it's a great fast read. And second thing is, if you're ever sitting at a table, you're a real estate investor and you're sitting at a table and you're a landlord or something and you're comparing stories with other investors, who in here owns a mobile home park, owns a trailer park? Raise your hand. For those of you that don't, if you think you have a really good story about tenants and stuff, don't sit at a table with someone that owns a trailer park, because they'll kick your butt when it comes to the story. And the third thing is, you can use trailer parks to protect your assets. So this is a high-end MacBook computer. And on it, I have a bumper sticker that says, if you mess with me, you mess with the whole trailer park. And the reason why this is here is on Apple, they have these little apples that glow on the front of it, and your computer will get stolen. I cover it up with this bumper sticker. I can leave this computer anywhere, and no one's gonna ever steal it, because when they see trailer park, they won't touch it.
Asset protection.
I love it. I love it. All right, I got
I'd
it.
like to say one thing
Go
real
ahead.
quick, since we're talking
Take
about
it,
mobile
Major.
homes. There's a preconception. Number one, there's a stereotype we're overcoming. So real quick question. Does anybody know the difference between a mobile home and a manufactured home? Nobody? Okay.
Tell us.
It's $100 million in failed marketing. That's all it is. It's the same damn thing, okay? But here's the thing. ULI, the Urban Land Institute Foundation, came out was they do studies each year on appreciation, land values, and best use. The last 2 years, they show that manufactured homes appreciate at a greater rate than stick-built homes. So the concept that manufactured homes depreciate has completely been blown out the water because we have such a demand for affordable housing, and the supply of manufactured homes isn't nearly as great as it needs to be, and that's why they're flying off the shelves. So yes, do not think it's depreciating. You get accelerated depreciation on manufactured homes and mobile home parks. So instead of the 23-year term, you're getting a 10 to 15-year term, which helps a lot on your taxes, and it's appreciating. So do not think it's an asset. Don't listen to Dave Ramsey and all that. It is appreciating, and we can routinely sell older homes that on the NADA value, the insurance value is $5,000 to $8,000. I can sell them all day long, 30, 35, all day long, because the demand is so high.
All right, I want to talk to Tim Davis. I meant to invite Tim up. There's a lot of people doing mobile homes in this room. I didn't realize there's this many. You bought a mobile home park. Tell us about that, how you bought it, and how it's going.
Well, we actually syndicated it, and what we did was we raised all of the capital through the syndication, so we didn't, no bank funding. For that deal, it was 1.7 million. Yeah, and it's going well, going very well. 19 units, and things are going well. Oh yeah, we increased the rents. We're adding some upgraded septic systems and some things that are going to really add some value to it in the long run. And then our goal is to sell it in about maybe 2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Love it. Thanks for
Hey,
sharing.
Jim, I want to talk about something that hasn't been talked about.
Take it away,
Now,
Keith.
I agree with Major. I bought a lot of homes back that I've sold, and I paid them more on the wholesale end the second time that I sold to them the first time. So it's not a depreciating asset.
Okay.
The other thing we talked about, many different kinds of mobile homes, parks, we talk about them on land, we talk about them in leasehold communities. You got to remember, that's 3 different kinds of paper. It's not the same paper. In a mobile home park, that would be a uniform commercial code paper, UCC. Some people would call it a chattel paper because you got to remember you're buying personal property. On land, it's real property, completely different paper. Don't get the two confused if you're a new guy starting out. See somebody who has the correct paper that's been proven in court. Mobile home paper is federal paper. The mobile home on land, that's state specific. 2 different
Okay.
kinds. Don't get that confused ever.
All right, I like it. Did you guys enjoy this panel?
One last thing, guys.
Take it,
This
Joe.
is very important. Part of your due diligence, sometimes you have to teach the person answering the phone on the county or health department the difference between a mobile home and a manufactured home because they hate their job. As soon as you say, if you're trying to do a manufactured play and you say mobile home, they're going to just start shooting you down.
What about
Right.
if you use the word trailer?
That's even worse. So just
Sure,
educate, if you're doing a
Marketing,
manufactured play,
marketing.
if you're doing a manufactured play, say, hey, I'm doing a 2025 manufactured home. And because they're not educated. They hate their job, they hate their supervisor, whatever it is, they just want to do, pick up, okay, and
Listen,
click.
when you
right?
buy it, it's a trailer park from a motivated seller. When you sell
There
it,
you go, right?
so when you market for your residents,
You buy mobile homes and you sell manufactured homes. You get like a
buy
20%
trailer and you
discount.
sell yeah, got it. Yes, love it. All right, guys, thank you so much. Major, I mean, that was awesome. All of you guys. By the way, right here, Steelmaker, Nosotros.
Nosotros,
You see
baby,
this?
ya tú sabes, mi
Order your
gente.
shirt. Tampa Bay, right here, Major. Orlando, Raleigh, Durham. Sam just signed up for the Panhandle. of
Sam, let's
Florida.
go.
Stand up, Pam.
Let's go.
Thank you guys so much.
Welcome to the familia.
Yes, she's in. All right, thank you guys so much.
I actually just signed up for Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, yeah, brother. There we go. I think we have, I mean, there's a bunch of meetups that are like verbally like being discussed right now. So thank you guys all for that. Did you have something? No, oh, you're good. You what? Oh, you're listening. Okay, great. There's so many there, like Buffalo, Denver, Charlotte, and more. I can't keep them all straight. But I've got to go.